Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we cut through the noise to get you well informed on the topics shaping our world.
Glad to be here.
Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into a platform that has, well, truly become ubiquitous in our digital landscape. OnlyFans.
It really is everywhere now, isn't it?
It is. It's a name that evokes, I think, a fascinating mix of opportunity, intrigue, and, for many, quite a bit of controversy.
Definitely a lot of strong opinions out there.
For this deep dive, we've pulled from a stack of detailed analyses that offer varied and sometimes, conflicting perspectives.
Right, different angles on it.
Yeah, we're talking about its far-reaching societal impacts, the almost tantalizing financial potential it seems to offer,
That potential is a huge part of the conversation.
and the very real challenges that often lurk beneath the surface of those success stories.
Our mission today is to truly unpack the complex realities of OnlyFans. We're aiming to go beyond just the surface-level discussions.
It passed the headline.
Exactly. And extract the most important nuggets of knowledge for you, our curious listener. We want to give you a clearer, maybe more nuanced picture of what it truly means for the individuals on the platform and for society as a whole.
Okay, let's start at the beginning then. For anyone who might not be completely familiar, what exactly is OnlyFans at its core? How does it, function?
So essentially, OnlyFans is a subscription-based platform. Creators post exclusive content for their fans who pay a fee.
Right, like Patreon maybe.
You could think of it a bit like Patreon, yes, but as one source very pointedly puts it, it operates without the same family-friendly vibe. That's a key distinction.
Okay, got it.
And creators, they have the flexibility to set their own monthly subscription fees. Typically, you see them ranging from maybe $5 to $50.
And what's the average?
Our sources show the average subscription costing around $7.21. Most creators actually seem to settle in that $5 to $10 sweet spot.
That's interesting. Even someone huge like Cardi B, right? Didn't she use it?
Yeah, exactly. When she launched her OnlyFans to promote her song WAP, she famously charged just $4.99 a month. And she was very clear, explicitly stated she wouldn't be posting nudity.
Wow, 4.99 cents. That's a low price point for a massive star. What's fascinating, though, is how quickly OnlyFans just shot into the mainstream consciousness. What drove that rapid rise?
Well, its rise to prominence really gained significant traction around 2020. You remember those initial lockdown orders?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everything changed.
Suddenly, millions of people were at home, many looking for new ways to make money, new ways to connect online. OnlyFans offered a very clear, albeit specific, avenue for that.
And how did people find out about it?
Many first encountered it through like TikTok tips or maybe Instagram links in bios or simply word of mouth from friends. It really capitalized on a unique moment in time.
And the platform technically allows any type of content, right?
Yeah.
Fitness, cooking.
Yeah, technically, you could post fitness tips or cooking tutorials. But our sources are incredibly clear on this. Explicit content is overwhelmingly the most popular and, crucially, the most profitable.
Right. And why is that? What drives that specific demand for explicit stuff?
It seems to come down to customization and personalization. Subscribers are often willing to pay, sometimes a premium, for content that caters to specific needs or desires. Things that might be harder to find elsewhere,
Bespoke content, essentially.
Exactly. This focus on bespoke interactions makes explicit content uniquely suited to the platform's monetization models.
Okay, speaking of monetization, what are the main ways creators actually make money, beyond just the monthly subscription fee?
Okay, so pay-per-view, or PPV as it's often called, that's a major income stream, especially for top creators.
Right. How does that work?
Well, you might see bundles of, say, 3 to 5 photos selling for $5 or $10. Videos, depending on length and content, can range from maybe $3 to $5 per minute.
Per minute. So a decent length video could make quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. A 10-minute video could easily fetch $30 or more. But here's where it gets really interesting. Customized content.
The personalization again?
Precisely. Subscribers can pay hundreds for these bespoke pieces. One source indicated a cap of $200 per customized video.
Wow, $200.
Yeah, and tipping is also a significant factor. Individual tips are capped at $100, but obviously those can add up.
And the platform itself, OnlyFans, They really pushed this be your own boss idea, didn't they?
Yeah.
How do they market themselves?
They did, very deliberately. OnlyFans positioned itself as a way for creators to take control of their income, really emphasizing the absence of, traditional advertisers or middlemen.
Like cutting out the gatekeepers.
Exactly. And that narrative was incredibly appealing during that period of economic uncertainty in 2020. It offered what looked like a seemingly easy path to financial independence, all from the comfort of home.
You can see the appeal.
Huge temptation, especially for, say, struggling university students who were hearing these stories, sometimes exaggerated, about people making rapid wealth.
And these stories of rapid wealth, I mean, some of the numbers for top earners are just mind-boggling. Can you give us some examples?
Oh, the allure is undeniable when you hear figures like Karina Koff. Reportedly made $67 million in 3 years on the platform.
67 million.
Yeah. She apparently surpassed $1 million in monthly earnings 5 times. Even in what was called her lowest month, she still pulled in over $600,000.
That's just staggering.
By 2023, her net worth was estimated around $12 million, largely thanks to OnlyFans. Then there's Sophie Rain, reportedly made $43 million in 1 year, at just 20 years old.
43 million in a year.
And get this, an anonymous fan, known only as Charles, reportedly tipped her nearly $5 million in that single year.
5 million in tips from one person.
Apparently, she's openly discussed growing up poor and devout Christian, and interestingly, she even claims to be a virgin. One source suggests this might appeal to specific kinks or certain fan preferences.
That adds another layer. And
Yeah.
we can't forget Danielle Bergoli, right? Bad baby.
Ah, yes. Bad Baby reportedly made $52 million in her first year. She joined the platform immediately after turning 18.
52 million. Just starting out.
Her monthly earnings sat at an estimated $4.3 million. And like we mentioned, Cardi B, even with her $4.99 no nudity policy, still pulled in a reported $46 million in 2022.
So what's the pattern here? It seems like existing fame is a huge factor.
That's the crucial insight, really. OnlyFans primarily seems to amplify existing celebrity or notoriety, rather than consistently creating new wealth opportunities for the average person starting from scratch.
So the dream of millions for a brand new creator, it's mostly just that, a dream.
Largely, yes. And this brings us to the stark reality for the vast majority of creators.
Okay, what does that look like?
Out of over 4 million creators estimated to be on OnlyFans, only about 300 make $1 million or more per year.
Only 300 out of millions.
That's what the sources suggest. The grim truth is that the average creator makes a mere $150 to $180 per month.
Per month? Wow.
Yeah, which translates to roughly $2,000 per year. A sum one source just describes as not sustainable at all.
That highlights a truly huge gap, doesn't it? Between the headlines and the reality for most.
A massive chasm. The highly publicized success stories are really the outliers, not the norm.
Okay, so if the vast majority aren't actually making significant money, let's shift focus a bit to the broader societal impacts. Some of the sources we looked at use pretty strong language, even talking about damage. What exactly are they referring to?
Well, one key argument is that OnlyFans has normalized behaviors that were previously much more stigmatized.
Like what specifically?
For instance, being an adult film star used to carry a heavy social weight, right? Now with OnlyFans, some argue it's become completely acceptable, where it once was really frowned upon.
A shift in social norms.
Yeah, and tied to that, there's a perceived loss of dignity for creators who, as one source puts it, proudly brag about making explicit content for money.
That raises a troubling point, this normalization. What other concerning patterns have sort of emerged from this?
Well, there's a disturbing pattern described in one source as spawn camping young women.
Spawn camping. What does that mean?
It refers to this perceived phenomenon where subscribers allegedly wait for young women like Danielle Bergoli or maybe certain viral TikTok girls to turn 18 so they can legally access explicit content from them.
So the implication is?
The implication is pretty disturbing. That older adults are finding these young girls attractive before they reach legal age, and then essentially waiting until they can legally view their content on the platform.
That's deeply uncomfortable. And it doesn't stop there with deceptive practices, does it?
No. We've seen instances reported where creators allegedly lie about their age to sell more subscriptions.
Really? Like who?
A notable example mentioned is the NPC TikTok girl Pinky Doll. That's a non-player character, a specific type of online performance.
Right, I've heard of that.
She was reportedly 27, but allegedly claimed to be 19. And the source making this claim suggests that the older men who buy these subscriptions, based on a false age, are just as disgusting, if not even more disgusting, for supporting that kind of deception.
Wow. These examples paint a pretty troubling picture of potential exploitation. How do our sources suggest this impacts the broader online landscape, particularly for women?
Well, it's argued that OnlyFans has, in a way, actually worsened the internet for women generally.
How so?
Think about attractive women who go viral online for something totally unrelated. The example often cited is the Home Depot girl.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
She was immediately pressured by countless men online to create an OnlyFans account. Comments like, OnlyFans and you equals rich, were apparently very common.
Even though she chose not to,
Uh-uh.
right? She said it was about morals over money.
Exactly. But the pressure was intense, and this contributes to a pervasive assumption now. If a woman has a link tree in her social media bio, people just assume it must lead to OnlyFans.
Even if it's just for her Twitch stream or something totally different.
Precisely. That assumption is now kind of baked in for many people online.
So what does this all mean for personal values then? Our sources talk about a kind of money over morals mindset developing.
Yeah, beyond just the raw numbers, our sources consistently point to what they see as a troubling cultural shift. A growing willingness, maybe, to prioritize immediate financial gain over potentially long-term dignity or personal values.
A transaction with hidden costs.
That's how some frame it, yes. Costs that extend far beyond the explicit content itself. One source uses a pretty blunt quote to illustrate this. Yo, bitch got morals, I got millions, highlighting that perceived trade-off.
That's dark.
And the assertion made by that source is that not all money is good money. And OnlyFans money, in this particular view, comes with a greater cost, which is your dignity and future.
And this greater cost often manifests as something really concrete, right? Like a permanent digital footprint. That sounds incredibly difficult to escape.
Absolutely. OnlyFans content, once it's online, is described as leaving a permanent stain on one's life and potentially your future family.
We've seen examples of this playing out, haven't we?
Definitely. There's Elle Brooke, an OnlyFans creator who made that infamous statement on Piers Morgan about how her kids would cry in a Ferrari when they found out about her past.
Right, I remember that causing a stir.
Or look at Mia Khalifa, an ex-adult film star. Years after she retired, own content still resurfaces and significantly impacts her current life, her interactions, her career opportunities.
It just follows you forever.
It seems so. Another creator mentioned was Nala. She apparently tried to transition to a life of religious devotion, but found herself mocked and turned into a meme online. Comments explicitly referenced her past adult content in a really demeaning way, like suggesting she went from worshiping the BBC to worshiping the Bible.
That's brutal. So the idea that you can just quit and move on,
Yeah.
it's not that simple.
The pictures and videos, as our source emphasizes, never really leave the internet, making a true retirement or transition incredibly difficult, maybe impossible for some.
Okay, let's move now to some of the more extreme cases and the ethical dilemmas this whole platform throws up. Lily Phillips's 100 Men Stunt is a truly striking example of pushing boundaries. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, it's a really stark case study. Lily Phillips, an OnlyFans creator, reportedly slept with 100 men in a single day for content.
100 men in one day.
That's the report. And she apparently earned around $2 million from the platform, presumably tied to that event.
Okay, but there were concerns raised.
Big concerns, yeah. A documentary about her experience highlighted several issues. There was reportedly a lack of verified STI tests and criminal background checks for the participants.
That sounds incredibly risky.
Extremely. And Lily herself apparently had an emotional breakdown at the end, crying, saying she was upset she couldn't give all of the guys a good time.
Wow, that sounds
Complex.
very. She also experienced what was described as disassociation, reportedly could only remember 5 or 10 of the men afterwards, which was characterized by some observers as a possible trauma response.
And she planned to do more. Even more concerning, she later announced plans to attempt a 1,000 men in one day challenge.
1,000. It just
Yeah.
it pushes us to question, doesn't it? Are acts like this self-harm? Is it genuine desire, or is it maybe a response to the intense pressure on the platform to constantly escalate for attention and success?
It raises all those questions. And what kind of pressure does that put on other creators?
Exactly, which brings us squarely into the realm of ethical considerations. Our sources shared an interesting Instagram poll about the ethics of profiting from explicit content, even if it's consensual. What did that reveal?
It really highlighted just how complex and divided people are on this issue. Only 28% of respondents said yes, that it's ethical if the person is of legal age, consenting, and in a good mental state.
Okay, about a quarter.
Then 23% said flat out no, viewing it as inherently degrading or harmful. But the biggest group, a massive 46%, said there was no easy answer.
Almost half felt it was gray area.
Yeah, tapping into mixed feelings or deeply held personal values. Only 3% were not sure. So it shows it's far from a black and white issue for most people thinking about it.
What's fascinating, though, is the range of perspectives within that ethical debate.
Yeah.
Because some people view creating this content as incredibly empowering, right?
Exactly. You hear perspectives like my body and my choice, or framing it as a self-empowering slut phase, or even seeing it as a way to play the system for financial gain.
Taking control, in a sense.
That's one view. And it directly contrasts with the concerns about objectification, potential exploitation, and the possibility of deeper regrets down the line.
So if we connect this back to the broader picture,
Yeah.
beyond just the money, what are the overarching risks involved?
Well, there are significant risks. Things like privacy leaks, content getting out that wasn't supposed to. Severe mental health struggles are commonly reported.
Yeah, what kind of struggles?
The constant pressure to produce content, to maintain a certain persona online, that can lead to burnout, anxiety, depression. And then there's the online environment itself. Creators frequently face intense online harassment, trolling, body shaming.
Just a constant barrage.
It can be. And one argument presented in the sources is that true empowerment involves having a diverse range of opportunities and experiences and choices. The concern is that OnlyFans should not be the only or the primary path to success for women.
That relying on it too heavily might limit other options, or be seen as the only option for some.
That's the potential danger highlighted, yes.
So when we bring this all together, try to sum it up. What's the takeaway?
I think the clearest takeaway is that OnlyFans is far from a simple issue. It's really complex. It undeniably presents these incredible financial opportunities, but seemingly only for a very select few.
While for many others.
For many others, it carries significant personal and societal risks. It's a landscape with these glittering promises that often seem to mask a much harsher, more challenging reality for the average creator.
And one source offered a particularly provocative analogy, didn't it, to help us think about the long-term implications.
Yes, it's quite a striking comparison. One source suggests OnlyFans might be the new cigarette of this generation.
The new cigarette, how so?
Well, the thinking goes like this. Initially, cigarettes were seen as cool, trendy, sophisticated even, and there was little understanding of their devastating long-term health effects.
Right, it took decades for that to become clear.
Exactly. And the source argues that the same thing might happen with OnlyFans. It may seem cool or normal or empowering now, but maybe 40 years from now, people might look back and realize how much damage it potentially caused to individuals and maybe society.
Including some really tragic outcomes.
Yes, the source points to the tragic reality of some adult film stars who have, unfortunately, taken their own lives, possibly due to past choices or content that never truly leaves the internet and continues to haunt them. It's a somber warning about potential unforeseen consequences.
A really sobering thought.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave our listeners with this to reflect on. If the value of OnlyFans content is fundamentally tied to how much of yourself, your privacy, your intimacy you're willing to sell, what happens when the market decides you're no longer valuable? Or what happens when that permanent stain on your digital footprint becomes too heavy a burden to carry?
And building on that, what options do we as a society need to build for the future? Options that don't force people into a trade-off between their privacy and their prosperity.
Heavy questions, but important ones. Something for all of us to think about.